Where's Todd?
Unsyndicated presents What the Puck with Sean Baligian.
Hi, how are you? We have no idea if this works. This is outstanding, but we're watching Maple Leaf right now. Guys, let's start there. QB, Coach, Mike, Sean. Maple Leaf looks good. You can hear us? All right, good.
You're something right.
Yeah, it's about time. Maple Leaf looks good right now. Let's give credit where credit is due.
It's their year.
It's their year. Stolarz has been the real deal. Let's start there. Stolarz has legitimately been the real deal.
So far.
He has. Can the Maple Leafs win the East?
Absolutely.
Yes, I think they can.
I don't think they will,
They can.
but they can.
Anything's possible.
Oh, 100%.
Especially this year in the East, because Florida's too banged up coming in a little bit. You have no idea what they're going to bring in.
Would you be shocked? Florida, Tampa, Toronto, Washington, Carolina.
What'd you say?
Would you be shocked if any of those? You would be shocked if Montreal won the East.
Yes,
Same.
of course I would.
Yeah. Montreal, Ottawa, who am I missing?
Devils.
And the Devils. You'd be shocked. The other five, you would not be shocked.
No.
Your text said it perfectly as well.
No, that's exactly. Let me say this too. I know it's cliche, but it bears repeating, especially since this group collectively, even though I don't think Willie Nylander deserves it, you have to have your best players be your best players, and it's only 2 games and a period, but the core 4 has been outstanding. And make no mistake about it, multiple points, all those guys, and I should say I shouldn't be stunned, but still I'm stunned at how bad Ottawa's been. I really am. I'm kind of stunned at it.
They look not ready for showtime. They're outclassed and outmatched right now, which isn't surprising, but no fight and no spark is surprising.
Yeah.
Giroux gave it a little bit there. Gave him a little bit of a scruff in the face. Well, other than that, they really haven't had a heartbeat.
No.
Haven't had a heartbeat.
Yeah, everybody talking about Kachuk coming in, but I don't think he hasn't really done anything.
He hasn't showed up yet.
I don't think he knows how to play contained,
No.
gritty, mean playoff hockey like his
Under
brother
control.
and Sam Bennett and those guys learned over time. Like he hasn't learned how to do that yet, and that's his next step. And start.
You see my dog here, Cole. He's still recovering from that big hit that Ovi laid on him yesterday. No doubt about that. Where do you want to start? What other series do you want to talk about first? If you want to talk about that series, we can talk about that series. We can talk with these fellas as well that are in the chat. You guys, Tom, our buddy in London, Ontario. Good evening, boys. Leafs are playing good from Dave. Hockey playoffs have been great last 3 days. Dam has it. It's the best. I don't care what anybody says. Mike, you and I were talking about this last week on What the Puck. Guys, we all grew up in a generation where the first round sucked. Let's be honest. When we were kids, the first round sucked. It did. Always. You might get the occasional series. Multiple series in this new NHL in the first round are unbelievable, which makes the first round, unbelievable. It's a great round.
Yeah, when we were going over the bracket, we went over 4, 5 of the series are something really to watch, and then there's 3 that whether they don't even televise them, it doesn't matter. And that just wasn't what it was before. It's like, all right, who's going to match up in the second round? The first round is going to be real quick.
Yep.
It hasn't been the last few years. This has just been good hockey. If I could stay up there.
11 p.m. tonight.
It sucks, dude. And it's real. Let's get. I want to get to that in a second because I have a full confession to make to all of you guys. I do. I don't know if you guys are the same way now as we've all gotten a little older. Eric, what's up, Sean? Kitchener beating Windsor. 1-0, 12 minutes left in the second. That would be an unbelievable comeback. Windsor jumped out 3-0 in that series. Unbelievable. What's up to you, Eric? Looks like a good-looking house, Sean. Thank you very much. What happened to Cole? Cole took a big shot yesterday from Obi, but he's recuperating over here, so everything's fine. Be nice to have some double overtime. Love playoff hockey. Can I say this, though? Exactly what you guys were just talking about. Okay, not that long ago, I was one of those guys, if you remember in the radio days, and I know Hubie and I used to send messages back and forth. Are you up at 101? I can't. He's been in bed for years now at like 9 o'clock. He's a smart one, okay? I can't do it. I wanted to, but like 2 nights in a row, I wanted to. Last night, not so much. I was goo-goo baby after a certain team lost. So last night, not so much, so I didn't even make an effort. But I'm pissed off I couldn't stay up and watch that Kings. His Kings, by the way. His Kings. I'm pissed off I couldn't stay up and watch that. Are you guys like that now? Man, I don't know what happened. Just the last few years. Now, don't get me wrong. If I have to stay up, if it's a Stanley Cup final, conference final, or, your team's playing, you're going to find a way to stay up. But more often than not, I was sitting on the couch the other night going, I want to watch this game, but I want to fall asleep more. And sleep won.
When there's nothing that can get me out of my sleep pattern. However, what I'll say is if you need a series, if we get one more quality Dallas-Colorado game, I will have to watch
You
that
have
series.
Too much
If
excitement.
we get a little bit more, I need a couple more games out of my Kings here to see if I'm going to say if that is like a series can entice me to get 2 hours of sleep, but it's just not there right now. It's got to mean something for me to be dog shit tired.
Henry said, am I late? No, our friend from the UP, you are not late. What is on your mind? What jumps out to you guys so far about this Stanley Cup playoff? Who are your favorites? For what it's worth, we're going to go around the room. I'll start first. Beginning of the year, I always like to keep myself honest. I said Florida, Dallas. I don't like either one of them now. I went with Vegas. I still think that decor is too damn good. And in the East, like legitimately, you could flip a coin. I feel dirty saying Carolina for one reason and one reason alone. Freddie Anderson.
Freddie.
Yep.
Like that's I feel dirty. I really do. I don't think I could bring myself to saying Toronto. So that maybe that's why I'm not picking Toronto, but I went with Carolina. Who do you got?
I could say this right now. It was a week or two ago we were doing the show, and I said, if Craig Berube gets these guys to play the way they should play, you better watch out for Maple Leaf. Not a joke, no nothing. Like you have to look at. Are we saying who we think's going to make it?
Yes.
I've got to stick with, like you said, you flipped on your Dallas. I said Tampa and Edmonton, and I'm going to stick with it. I think Edmonton needs – this is like their conditioning. These 2 games in LA are their conditioning period to get back after the injuries, and they're going to win it fast.
Did you see that? He didn't even keep a straight face as he said that. All right, Hunter, who you
But
got?
hey, before you go, Coach, I got to tell you, you dumped on Dallas. Dude, you know they went to 22-1 after game 1 loss.
Did they really?
I jumped all fucking over it.
Oh, shit.
22-1. That's a huge jump.
That's a huge
jump. They're not
jump.
22-1. Thank you.
I'm going that. For some reason, Dallas sticks in my head. Even before his 22-1.
Before they won in overtime.
Before they
you got
won.
him at 22-1.
Dallas, I think, has the parts. If they can just, stay focused and go. I think Dallas, and I still like Florida. Why? I don't know.
They really, they play too much hockey. I think they caught up healthy. But that's a big
But
problem.
that's the thing.
That's why it changed.
No, it's just a gut feeling I got.
Listen, if Florida plays playoff hockey, I mean, make no mistake about it, is where's their fuel at? That's my concern with Florida.
Same thing with the Wings years ago.
Tampa a couple years ago.
You'll know tonight what Tampa's got, how long they can go. Florida. You'll know tonight. You'll know a lot tonight. That's why I said after. I said 2 weeks ago. I said after game 1 of the Toronto series, you're gonna know. Berube has these guys playing. That is why I sat there, and again, I know where I'm going with this. I grabbed them at 10-1. I said they're not going to get any better. I grabbed them at 10-1
Hubie, who you got?
I'm gonna go most quiet team out there, Vegas and Tampa.
All right. By the way, can I say this? Mike and I have talked about this a lot over the last while that we've been doing this. I do not enjoy Sportsnet's coverage at all. I mean, at all. I really don't. I think their intermissions are boring. Okay. Can I say this? Are you guys going to swear at me for saying this? I think Lalonde's a welcome addition. I really, compared to what they have sitting at that table. I like Elliot Friedman because he's a straight guy, but you need a little bit of a character up there. I think Lalonde was a good addition.
I laughed and turned it off. So I didn't
knew that.
I'm with Mike on that one.
I didn't even give a second. So now I'll give him seconds. Okay. I will watch now.
Okay.
Just look at him though.
And he's gonna steal the move. That's what
He reminds me of the guy from Despicable Me.
Yeah.
he is Groot. He is Groot. He is good. Eric said I gotta wake up early. I can't stay up and watch the games anymore. My staying up days are all but over. I was lagging in the morning like a Windows 95 computer after last night. Tom said I'll take Tampa and Vegas with Vegas winning it. Hubie and I feel that way, even though I haven't beaten Carolina. Dave said Dallas or Winnipeg West, Carolina East. Henry said I'm really pulling for Winnipeg, but they got to get over the hump. There's no doubt about that. I mean, they're Toronto of the West. They are. I mean, let's face it, for all the talent they've had, for all the chatter that they have. I mean, there's no playoff pedigree there. It's incredible. Dave said in that Dallas OT last night, man, sticks were breaking back to back. Jimmy Young in the house. What's up, Jimmy? Jimmy's in it. Jimmy, if you can ever make the trek down from Houghton, you know you're welcome here. There's a spot for you. I'll cram you in next to Cole over here, okay?
He's on his way right
Tom said Windsor just tied the game. Man, that'd be a fun game to go to tonight over in Windsor. Are you kidding me? No late nights for me, Erica. I'm with you there. So some of the action last night, you knew I was going to get to it. If you watch the Habs in the last month, the good news is they've won a majority of games. The bad news is it's been the same gosh damn recipe almost every game. They start slow, they get down a goal or more often than not two, and then they come firing back with a miraculous third period, like they did when they beat the Wings a couple weeks ago, and that's not going to work in the playoff. That's not going to work against a team like the Washington Capitals. But I will defer to Chris Pronger here. I don't know if you guys saw what he said. He said, I didn't know if the Habs can play with the Caps. I think the Habs can play with the Caps, and the Habs could eventually beat the Caps. What do you guys think of last night?
I told you my exact thing. They've got to win their home games. Captain Obvious. They stretch it into a 7-game series. They win it in 7, and that's just. And do you know? I've been serious with it. I think as the game went along, Washington lagged and Montreal didn't, and they dominated that third period. And my last text to you before I stopped texting you for overtime, besides my Cole Hudson pick for a goal, sucked, was they need.
If they had Cole, maybe he would have scored. It'd be nice.
now I'm the.
It would have been nice.
That was getting it off.
It would have been nice.
I said, right, the minute and a half left, I said they've got to score now because the worst thing they can have is Washington go get their legs back for the start of overtime.
Yeah.
And what they needed to end it.
You're right there.
Third period.
What jumped out to you, Hunter?
The speed of Montreal coming back just dominated that third period. Washington seemed to get slower. And the young legs of Caulfield and Suzuki and, those guys just kept coming and coming. Ovechkin, sure, he's a great goal scorer, but he seemed to get a little slower.
Fat.
Well, that's what
He was in the right place at the right time for the winning goal.
Knocked her right out of here.
But, he's fucking nice. 5-on-5, he's not very much involved like he used to be.
Hubie, what jumped out to you?
And I didn't bother texting you because I know you were busy watching the game. But I was watching it going, all right, the weather, the storm, okay, they got down one, whatever. But I'm like, they're coming back. You know they're going to. That's their MO. They're going to come on them third period, like you guys are saying. They just took over that third period.
You know, the funny thing is, Mike, you used the term, and I'll let you. I purposely didn't ask you about it, but I'm trying to find out which game, which channel Tampa's on. No, I'm trying to find out what channel it's on. I don't know what dumb channel it's on.
So you don't look somewhere, you just do that?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
It's on ESPN.
Is it really?
229.
Okay, I'm dumb.
You're gonna wait another 6 minutes.
You used the term. You thought that, and I purposely. Oh, look at Paul Evans, the Leaf fan. Go Leafs, go Leafs, go. They look good, Paul. In case you missed it earlier, here's ESPN. So does it start after? Okay. All right.
So it's going to be even, or it'll be on ESPN2.
All right. So here
They'll tell you.
Here's the what jumped out to me last night. All jokes aside, you used this term, and I purposely didn't ask you about it because I wanted to see what you meant. You said you felt that Montreal exposed the Washington Capitals last night. I thought that Montreal exposed the Washington Capitals defense score last night. Like complete ownership in the attack zone in the third period, and that was like. You want to know how to beat Washington? We've all been sitting here all year. I think all of us, and he and I have talked about it 100 times. How the heck is Washington done what they've done this year? Like tip of the cap. I'm saying Spencer, all of it, okay? Fat Ovi, broken leg Ovi, all the different Ovis, okay? Guess what? People know now. That defense score, I think that defense score is less than. And that's the blueprint. You put pressure on the defense score. That's how you're going to knock. Is that what you meant?
They just wrote the book on how to do that. Now they went. I think it was like 13-11 to close out, and you can't read too much into that because they were doing nothing but trying to get Ovechkin goals over that period of time. They lost the intensity and the will, let's say, to win. So let's just take this game when they were playing a game to win and not just score the goal for Ovechkin. And it was the first time all year they looked like last year's Washington Capitals.
Yes.
And that was that team where you're like, what are they? They just run around in their own end, but then they won enough to make the playoffs, right? It was like, how did they do that? That was the first time they looked like that. So they exposed something. There was something there that everyone's going to have that take of that game right there. And that wasn't at Montreal where Montreal could get their matchups. That was in Washington. So they really exposed something, and you brought up the D. Whatever it was, they got to them right then and there.
I thought the defense score on their heels and running around like chickens with their head cut off, and it gave me hope. Listen, I'm going to tell you point blank, I still think Washington wins the series. It's a big fat not yet for the Habs, okay? I mean, I think I hope I don't come across as a complete slapdick saying this, but their future is as bright as anybody in the National Hockey League. But not yet. A big fat not yet.
It shouldn't be. And what I said to you right when we got over here and we first started grilling was that I don't think it will be because I don't think Monteblanc can hold them off like he did last night.
Who?
Monteblanc. That should have been 4-0 in the third period instead of 2-0.
Easy.
Yeah. And I just don't think that can happen. That's going to be the deciding factor. And I just don't know if Newhook, Laine, and Demidov are going to be able to get off their asses and play playoff hockey forever.
Move Demidov off Laine's line. Period. That's the story. I mean, look. I think everybody knows the Laine by now. You take the highs and the lows. He's going to score on bunches. He's going to get a bunch of power play goals. He's going to look completely disengaged a lot. He is. And having watched him, now I get it. Now I get why, you saw two other teams completely frustrated with him because he's tantalizing at times. And then there are times like last night, it's like, what did you do on that entire shift? What did you do?
Can you say he's a poor man's Alex Ovechkin? Like he's great on.
I'm talking dirt poor. Yeah, I'm talking dirt poor.
But because he doesn't have the physicality, he doesn't have that oomph, that drive. As I've said, the greatest game I've ever seen live played was by Alex Ovechkin when I saw him play as a rookie. He doesn't have that in him, but he has that shot. He can score goals. He's going to give you nothing defensively. He's not going to give you anything physically where Ovechkin's going to run people over. He's a fat man in the China.
It's only when he wants to play.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Offensive. Okay, I'm going on the offensive
Yep.
zone. I'm going to play back check.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Fight in the corner. Nah, don't float out here. Give me the puck.
And I think that's the problem right now, especially, look, Ivan Demidov is going to be a very good player. He's a 19-year-old player who right now doesn't give two shits about his own zone. He doesn't. I mean, his mind is here. That's like every 19-year-old kid. I mean, his mind go. So, by the way, 8:48. They're saying approximately 8:48 is the start time for Florida and Tampa. Arguably the most anticipated first-round series, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Right up there in Colorado.
Dallas, Colorado. Yeah, that's what I was going to say, and that certainly
something
has
about the Battle of Florida, though, right?
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Canes look good. Devils not so much. They miss Hughes for sure, big time. Mike, congrats on Sebi going to Northwood. That program took a huge step this past year. The Wolves. It's a great.
Timbies.
Have you been up there yet? It's a great campus. Really, I'm serious.
You tell me that they're going for orientation coming up. I'll get up there.
I really, really like that campus. 2-0 Padres, by the way. Eric said, "What's to eat?" Okay, hold on, guys. Okay, so the first thing I did, I don't even know if this is going to work, but
We
I'm
got to
going to
look online because the sausage is desperate.
I took some pictures.
The
So
sausages don't look.
I got smoked sausage, shrimp, and chorizo there, and then we had this was like last year. This was just sausage fest. We're going to have different smoked things. We'll be smoking the pork. We'll do some beef short ribs. We'll be doing some burgers and things. But tonight was sausage fest. So let me try to go over it again. We had chili cheese. We had firecracker. We had, what was the other one you got?
Loaded Italian.
Which is really effing good. Where'd you get that?
Marv's Market, right there at Grand River by the Big B Rink.
So it was mozzarella, peppers, and onions.
And a mix of sweet and hot Italian.
It was, I'm telling
Just
you,
like me.
it was,
Yeah, just like
it was really good. Then we had hot Italian sausage. And am I leaving anything out? Is it? What else did we get?
Firecracker. Did you say firecracker?
Yeah, I did say firecracker.
That's
That is
just the usual suspect.
yes, that is just the usual suspect.
That'll always be a usual suspect. Though.
Look at Nuge in the house. Nuge said, "Where you been, Hubie? I need you at the CC alumni game."
I'm skated over a year.
Can you patrol the line still? Can you patrol the line? I bet you can.
I can hold the line. I'm not moving off the line.
You can straddle that line.
I think Tampa takes it again this year. Cooper, Vasilevsky, Hedman, et cetera, et cetera. That's the one thing. Mike and I were talking about that last week. You can't ever count out Tampa as long as Vasilevsky's in
There it is.
You can't.
Oh! Bounced over
How-
a stick.
Jeez, Pete.
Timo Meyer.
Oh my gosh. So empty net with a minute to go in the Carolina, New Jersey game. The Florida Tampa game is going to start after that. And that's the one I think we all wanted to see a little bit. Is there going to be a draft show Thursday? I'm doing a draft show with Woodward Sports. So it's going to be, I think, don't quote me on this. I think it's going to be me, Scott Bischoff, my buddy Scott Bischoff, Spencer Raxter, and Easy. I think we're doing one. And then Scott and Scott and I are doing one Friday night, and then we're going to do. Scott and I are going to do the podcast on Sunday night, kind of like when the draft is all over. We're going to do a recap. So that's that. So 44 seconds remaining. In case you're watching something else, 44 seconds remaining in the Carolina, New Jersey game. The Carolina crowd, which you're going to have to trust me, is a very loud crowd. Has been very subdued most of this game. Now, in fairness, we did turn on Maple Leaf. But the first period of this game, very subdued crowd. They're finally making a little noise now in beautiful, and I mean that beautiful Raleigh. Eric said on here show. Eric again Sunday night. Bischoff and I are going to do something. Good games in the OHL. Tom, you got to keep us apprised of what's going on because we have the NHL on. Last count, it was 1-1 still in Windsor. Nuge Anderson has been solid. Nuge, you know what's funny about that? I picked Carolina in the East, and I feel dirty because of Freddie Anderson. He's just Freddie Anderson, but he has been solid. So, how many times have you seen it where that veteran goalie? I always go back to Dwayne Rolison. You know, I mean, honestly, that magic run that he went on with the Oilers, like nobody saw that coming. Here's a journeyman goaltender there, and he continued on his journey for many years after that. But you know, sometimes, guys, Skinner last year.
Yeah.
Come on, the much maligned Skinner. And you know what? When the shit hit the fan in the finals, Skinner answered the bell, man. He did.
But they still protected. You see what happened last night when they did protect him, and that's going to happen to Anderson, Nuge. Eventually, this goalie's going to get exposed when they can't protect him. They're going to run into somebody. They're going to run into a Tampa, a Toronto, a Washington, someone there they can't protect him, and I think he's going to get exposed.
Carolina's going to go up 2-0 in this series. They just got the empty netter, so 36 seconds remaining in that one. So it does sound like 8:48. I can't stand these start times. I'll get it out of the way right now. The 11 o'clock start's a joke. I'm sorry. I mean, for guys, it's already a difficult time to stay up. An 11 o'clock start is just something different.
How hard is it to go 6, 7, 8, 9?
It'd be too easy. That's why.
Don't get me
Too
started.
easy. I could stand a chance at a 9 o'clock game if it intrigued me.
At least the start of it.
Minnesota's intriguing.
Yeah. Tom Berry, 4-3 late second. Thank you for that. Paul said the year the Avs won it, if the Oilers had a tendy other than Smith, maybe they win it. It is amazing. We've been saying that about Edmonton for so many years, and I'll take it a step further. I'll say it about Carolina. Carolina's goaltending is just always been less than, and I think a lot of people snickered when they decided that Freddie was going to be their guy. A lot of people thought it would be, the young Russian goaltender. But at the end of the day, if Freddie plays well, and he has so far in this series, then that's all that matters. So it's going to be fun to see what happens the rest of the way. We're going to do this at least once a week. Now, again, as the playoffs go on, I have a feeling maybe in the conference finals we'll do it every night. I know in the Stanley Cup finals we'll do it every single night. Before we get out of here,
Can you zoom me in from Cabo?
when are you going to Cabo?
The 19th.
The finals, huh? June?
June 19th. Latest they could go is the 23rd.
Last year they went off.
But we'll zoom you in.
Game 7 is right
Yeah,
around
we'll
the
zoom you in.
Yeah, we can zoom you in.
I'm going to go in
But
the
you gotta
opposite
keep- you gotta put
direction.
your shirt on.
Hubie, I want to ask you first. When the Wings played the Ducks, I was all for late nights because I was younger. Yeah, it's not that long ago, man.
See, the funny thing is, when those games done, I worked with a guy. He would go to bed early, tape it, get up, and fast forward through all the commercials and all that. And he'd get up, come into work the first thing in the morning, watch the game.
Really?
Yep.
So the triple overtime one, he got through all that before he came into work.
Yep.
Shannon scored.
Dedication.
Yep. He would video, record them, get up early and watch them.
All right, what do you ask the coach?
Hubie, where are the Wings at? I'm going to go one by one. I want to ask all you guys, where are they at? Where are they going? I know. Where are they at? Where are they going next year?
To me, it's going to be a few years for them to make the playoffs. I just can't see it right now. They have defense, Petrie, Hall, these guys,
Gotta go.
you got to go. Somehow you got to get someone up front who can, rock, get up there. Someone who's playing with Casper. That guy's probably the most dynamic guy. You guys said it before
I agree.
on your,
I
on
agree.
your show a couple weeks ago.
I agree.
He's been the most dynamic guy, and he only played how many games this year?
Yep. He is one guy. You can't. I don't think it's fair to call. I'll go to my own team. You can't call Demidov a superstar or anything like that. Let's wait and see. The pieces are there, and I think the pieces waiting in the no pun intended wings. I think that the pieces. It's not fair to call them superstars, but Hubie, to your point, who's the star of this team? Really?
Exactly.
Raymond?
Not the way he faded in the second half.
He's good.
Not the after Four Nations. not
After
the
Four
way-
Nations, he went down.
Yeah. After.
I can answer that question. So you read my mind.
Hold on a second. Tom reminded me of something. Talk.
All right, Sean, you read my mind. I wanted to talk about this. Watching all these series, and I'll just put this out there to a Red Wing fan. Where are the Red Wings right now? Watch the playoffs right now to get your answer on Lucas Raymond is he a superstar. And Hubie, the superstars are standing out in every series that's being played right now. McKinnon, right? Kucherov's going to play here. They're all McDavid and Draisaitl were nasty. Almost. Now, where does Lucas Raymond fit in that? Those conversations. He doesn't.
He doesn't.
He
No.
doesn't. And those are the guys that's the standout of the playoffs right now. I'll say every star player is standing out right now in the series that they're, be it McKinnon, be it Draisaitl, be it McDavid. You're going to notice Kucherov here. You're going to notice Kachuk. Go through them. The core four for Toronto have stood out, right? They're all standing out. So that's when I looked at Coach Hunter and said, where does Raymond fit in that conversation? Yeah. He's not. He carries their bags into the locker room for them. Is what
Takes
he
their
does,
sticks.
right? So that's where they're at now. They have no. All they have is a disgruntled captain that is standing in front of press conferences, throwing his GM under a bus, and then complaining about the World Championship because he can't.
I'm glad you brought that up. I want to get
I
into
mean,
that in a second.
it's disgusting. I put out the meme I put out. Trade me right now. I mean, that's exactly what he was saying, and we're going to trade him for another backup goalie, I'm sure.
Yeah, why not? You know,
The problem was too is it was like, oh, look at him in the Four Nations. Guess what? He was on the fourth line. He didn't have to do anything.
You got it. You got it.
And what was he? And when you're out there, and when he started to move up, he did play well. Give him his credit where credit is due. He was playing with superstars,
Exactly.
which he's not. He had a nice season, but for him to come out and say what he said about a guy that walks on water in this area is not going to go over well. And just, I don't know anything, but from what you hear, that's not going to go over well with Mr. Eskin.
Tom said no taller, Sean. No, I do have taller from New Holland. I love this. This is if you guys want to try one later. QB playoffs next year for the Wings or no?
No.
Okay. Hunter, where are
No.
the Wings at?
they're not. They're still a couple years away.
Can I say this? And here I go again, and you're going to go, oh, that's funny. You're saying this, and look at the hat you're wearing. I thought that third period of that Montreal game really showed where those two teams are at. And I'll tell you what. I watched Lane Hudson dominate, and the Red Wings didn't have somebody. I watched Nick Suzuki play the role of a 1C, and the Red Wings don't have that. And that, like, to me, and I even said it on Woodward. I said, you know, I know Pierre, the Habs fan, of course. So tell me I'm wrong. Like, Lane Hudson didn't have a point, and he owned that period. A best player on the ice, you know, and Nick Suzuki did Nick Suzuki things. So I think it's interesting. Can I get into very quickly, I want to get into the Dylan Larkin thing because you're not wrong, Mike, okay? But isn't that what a captain's supposed to do? I think he's taken a lot of shit, and I think that's twice this year where somebody asked him for the temperature of the locker room, and he told the truth. Isn't that what a captain's supposed to do?
To give the temperature of the locker room, sure, but what he said was something your captain, a good captain, would walk into the office of Steve Yzerman and talk to. He would not do it in a press conference.
Fair enough.
That's where
That's
I was saying is
media.
and I actually had this debate with myself. I spent a lot of time by myself. And what was that the big bad captain? Or was that someone that was asking, like, I just went out here and taking shots at people? I think the big bad captain should stand up for his team. That is what you do. You stand there in that press conference and you take the heat so those guys don't have to. You don't throw your GM under the bus like that. And you don't, while doing it, pat yourself on the back about your 30 goals while you were injured and do that. You walk into and you have a closed door meeting.
exactly.
And the players know that you were in there, and you come out and they know you had your back. Nick Suzuki did not go into a press conference and say, you better not trade anybody, keep this core together. He had a conversation one-on-one with the GM.
What was interesting about it, too, is if you remember, he did it in November when Sebastian Kosa got sent down.
Yeah.
He did.
That comment was more mild, wasn't it?
If I remember correctly, he said along the lines, we really needed a boost. This is a guy that provided a boost, and we promptly sent it back.
Yeah.
You know, in essence, I don't get it. I don't know if this is Dylan Larkin's ticket out of town. I think he said a couple weird things. Going back to the Four Nations when he kind of went on that tirade. Mike, you and I talked about it. About the whole well, guys need to go play for the World Championship. I don't know why guys don't play for the World Championship. Well, Dylan, with all due respect, that's really fucking easy for you to say when the most playoff games you played in a year is 5, and you haven't been in 9 years. Guys are in the midst of wars in these series from hockey standards. Sometimes guys are going into the second round, and obviously if they go into the third round, count it out. I thought that was kind of a weird statement to me. That was kind of a weird statement.
It's coming off as a guy that is not ready for the C on his chest, which you just can't do. It is. It's a whole other debate whether you are or you aren't. But that's an off-putting kind of weird comment in what he has said. And people have lost their C's before for less, so we'll see what comes of it. But to me, it wasn't a good look.
It might have been the right statement, but the wrong situation.
So
Wrong venue,
we were at USA Hockey Arena when the trade deadline ended. And Hunter, you were with us. And when Steve Yzerman had his post-trade deadline comments, and listen, I'm going to say it again. I've been told that I licked Steve Yzerman's taint. I've been told so many. Steve Yzerman is doing a good job at replenishing the less than supplies that the Red Wings had. Okay, he hasn't been good in free agency. It's been slower than anybody could imagine. If you ask Steve, I think he's at the point where he'd have to say, yes, we're definitely behind schedule. My job is to not, I've always taken my job seriously in the fact that I have to be fair. It's easy to pound on a guy, no doubt about that. I think no matter who you are, all right, if you have half a brain in your head, you have to at least acknowledge, okay, I see what he's trying to do. There are pieces here, there aren't enough, okay? Therefore, he's behind schedule. Where I had to kind of turn the other way with Steve Yzerman is when you looked at us when we were sitting in the stands. And Steve Yzerman said in his press conference, what I was trying to do is put our team in the best possible position to make the playoffs. That's what he said with a straight face. By adding Smith and Mrazek? That's like, really? That's where and I think I don't want to put words in your mouth. I think your quote was, it's almost like he's trolling guys now. That sounds good. It's almost like he's trolling guys right now. And yes, that was Battle of Florida is underway. Dylan is a prime example of another overvalued Red Wing. He's good, not great, and as a captain, not good. Cute but diversion during a long and ugly rebuild. Paul, this is the longest stretch of non-playoff hockey in Detroit Red Wing franchise history. Like, are people aware of that? Think about all the downtimes. And when we were kids, giving cars away, the dead things, darkness with Harkness. This is the longest period of time without that. And the second longest current streak in the NHL next to the Buffalo Sabres. And Jimmy Young, plug your ears. You don't want to hear this. I don't want to be associated with the Buffalo Sabres in any way, shape, or form. I want nothing to do with that. So
there's never anything good when you're compared to the Buffalo Sabres.
Still 2-0 Padres. George McPhee needs to be the GM. Can I say this? I can't even envision a scenario where the Red Wings would decide that they were going to get rid of Steve Yzerman.
No.
I can't. Okay, let's play a game of pretend. Ready? It is April, 22nd? It is April 22nd, 2027. And we're sitting here having this exact same conversation about the Detroit Red Wings. Would Steve Yzerman be in trouble then?
He'd be in the hot seat.
Yep, hot seat.
He's
here as long as he wants. He wants to be here.
I can't imagine. I can't. Especially what he means to that family, what he means to the Illich family. I'm serious. I can't imagine what that means. Have a fun night, boys. Michael, you're gonna have to come over, okay, friend? I know you're busy watching your Tigers, but you're gonna have to come over. Guys, he's not a good exec. I think he's been very good with drafts. A lot of that has been luck, let's be honest. But you have to have luck. You have to find a Kucherov in the second round. You have to find a Lane Hudson where the Habs found him and everything. He's not had that kind of luck here.
And again, you've said it many a time. He didn't come into the greatest of situations.
No.
And what we're sitting on right now are some guys that are signed, some guys that are roster players on the big team that look nice. And we have a handful of prospects that look nice. So it gets into whether he's a good exec or not. He didn't do anything at the deadline. The problem was what he said after that, with like, I put us in the back. But again, all he needed to say, we said this at USA, Sean. Me and you had the conversation. All he had to say was, I wasn't going to give up what they were asking for, so I couldn't get anything. And that's totally fine and goes over way better than what he said. That whether he's put together and assembled the pieces is to be determined in the next couple of years. He's done a very bad job of getting this.
Well, how many times have we said this? I used to do this stupid game on my radio show years ago called You Be the GM. And you would call me and say, I want this. And guys, whether you want to accept it or not is inconsequential. If you're wanting a proven player, okay, at deadline, do you know what I'm asking for? Exactly what you brought up. The guy that jumps out to me. I want Casper.
Yeah.
He hasn't done anything yet. He looks really good, but Iavasile has been in the league for 8 years. He's established. You know what I mean? Well, what are you prepared to give that up? Because I think we're coming to the point in time where there's enough assets here where if Steve wants to get involved in that, he can do that. But know this, all these wonderful, cute little names that everybody's been throwing in the hopper for 2 or 3 years, who do you think they're going to ask for? They're going to ask, okay, you know what? Look at that.
Hit that out of midair.
That's awesome. Bennett.
Midair.
Well, it's great to see Kachuk back, isn't it? Chewing on that gosh damn mouthpiece. And now he's got Bennett doing it too.
Dun, dun, dun.
Let's see. I don't mind Talbot or Kane. Patrick Kane, I'll say it again. I didn't understand the uproar about it. You were losing nothing signing him. It was a shit contract. So what? And I think everybody would have to say that turned out to be a plus.
Do you bring him back again? One more year?
What's the price? What's the price? What's the price?
I figured.
No, is he gonna?
$2 million? $2 million?
No, what was what?
$1 million.
I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna look it up because I think I know the number, but I'm
You
gonna
pay him $1 million. Just put him on 6-on-5.
in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
Shootout.
I think I know the number, but I want to fact check myself just to make sure. It is a $4 million contract. I thought
$1 million.
I thought it was $4
$1 million would be easy. Easy decision.
Would you
GM Hunter decided?
would you say we're going to do it again for $4 million? No, neither way.
No.
Hold on a second.
I'd go 2.
Look at Sakic and Yzerman, similar pro careers as GMs. Sakic made some really nice moves this year near the trade deadline. Well, there's 2 things there. Don't forget about the first round of Sakic. Sakic also, if you remember, decided that he was going to take the long way there. And in the process of doing so, Patrick Waugh had a temper tantrum and quit, because he was going to do it the right way. And it paid off. It paid off. And some of those assets are still paying off as well.
That's what I said. You can't. The move Sakic made this year with that team can't be compared to what Yzerman did not do with an empty roster this year. You can't use it.
Can we start to see some of these players that are in GR? I think you're going to see probably 4 next year. That's my guess. You're probably going to see 4. That's my guess. I think Danielson, Nygaard, Musler, Narger. Obviously, you'll see ASP. I'd be stunned if he wasn't here, and I think you'll see Kosa. I can't. I would give up Raymond before Casper, but he's got that contract. David, that's exactly it. If I'm asking for Casper. Like that's the way it is. You guys, I'm not making it up. That's what are you prepared to give up? You know, I mean, if you want these guys, what are you prepared to give up? And I think that's the $1 million question.
And as I say, if someone wants Raymond, that's not a bad contract. If you're coming after a young kid because you think he's going to be a star, what did he get? 8 and 8? That's nothing. In a couple of years, it's going to be nothing.
What I would do, you know what I would do, though. I mean, this is what every general manager does. They lie. Okay, Steve, you know, baby, you know, I like this Lucas Raymond guy, but let's be honest. Is that what he is? Who's the real Lucas Raymond? Is it the guy that finished the season so strong 2 years ago, or is it the guy that faded down the stretch last year? That's what I would do. I'd lie through my teeth, even if I love the guy.
Yeah.
And you know, I think with a guy like Lucas Raymond, as crazy as it sounds, you're almost starting behind the 8 ball, especially with the way that he figured he finished the season. That just, it's a thought. Skydog said, when is your buddy Neil Rule going to finally acknowledge that the world's worst owner, Chris Ilitch, is holding back the wings like an anchor? You know, it's a good question because I think the one thing that you can say is, you know, in baseball, they're never going to spend. We all know it, okay? But in hockey, they've been spending near the top, okay? Near the cap. The big question is, are you willing to give the extra year on these contracts and everything? I think that's the big question.
Here's a question. Does Eiserman have as much leeway if Mr. I was still around?
Yes. Yes.
Does he?
Yes.
I mean, Mr. I wanted to win, didn't care what it
Yes.
took.
Yes.
Chris is about making the buck. He's all about business.
Exactly. That's what made me come up with that.
Henry said ranch or blue cheese. You know
What, for breakfast?
Just in general.
Ranch.
Blue cheese. The chunkier the cheese, the better too. Like those big giant boogers that come out of your nose when you do that. I mean, I want the big chunky ones, man. That's what I'm looking for. Be good to see Jackson's own Carter Mazer too. Paul, you're right, but can I also say this? I think Carter Mazer fits the mold of
Ref just got absolutely.
what you were talking about earlier. I think people have already put that poor kid on a pedestal he doesn't belong. He is a role player. He is a guy that you want on your team. But the way that I've heard some of the slaps talking about him, it's kind of weird, right? It's kind of, but it is. It's typical. There isn't a GM in the NHL calling Eiserman looking to get a slow D man. They want the top prospects. Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you're throwing Petrie out there, when you're throwing Hall out there, when you're throwing some of the older pieces out there, no, are you kidding me? Especially if you're a team that you're selling a proven commodity and they're going into rebuild mode, you don't rebuild with guys like that. You rebuild with the young players. Third has started in Windsor, 2-1 Kitchener. Ooh. Habs mask guy, a no-show. Yeah, he was pretty pissed off last night. He was pretty pissed off. I come back tomorrow. I said, that door will be locked. So, yeah, it's not going to happen. I can't believe we just bullshitted for 48 minutes.
Holy cow.
He's not done a lick, Mazer. We're going to watch hockey now, okay? Hopefully you guys enjoy it. What else was I going to say? Is there anything else that we have to hit before we get out of here? Is there anything on any of your minds?
No.
All right, I'm going to go get another drink and eat some more sausage. Thank you guys for joining us. God bless you. I think the next time we'll be here is Sunday. Bischoff and I are going to kind of do an NFL draft recap. For these idiots, we'll see you soon. Take care. God bless you.
We resemble that.
Bye. No, really, bye. Watch. Now I got to hit end stream.
End stream.
Watch us play, outro, and end stream. Bye.
What the Puck with Sean Baligian. Executive produced by Sean Baligian and Todd Losey. Theme song, incidental music, and related sound effects are from Always Pushing Forward by Elliot Middleton. Engineering, mixing, and graphic design support provided by the Unsyndicated Podcast team. Don't forget to like and subscribe on all your favorite channels. While you're there, be sure to rate and review the podcast. Got something to say to Sean? Call the Unsyndicated hotline at 248-237-3257.